and welcome to Karate Kid Master Dojo. This is Master Craig. Hello everybody, how you doing today? I hope your day is going well. If you're just joining us for the first time, I am Senior Master Craig Greca. I am a 6th degree black belt in the Universal Martial Art and a 5th degree black belt in the Taekwondo martial art. And I've been training for over 2 years in Kung Fu and Kabuto weapons. And we're here today to discuss the teachings and trainings inside the Karate Kid universe, including the Cobra Kai Netflix series, which incidentally is where our example comes from today. In the Cobra Kai Netflix series, the Cobra Kais decide to vandalize, destroy, the Miyagi-Do dojo. Now, this was the only example that I had for our topic today. It's not a very good example because of the negative things that they did, which I don't condone, but there is some positive things in regards to our topic today. And as I'm sitting here, I actually thought of another example from the Cobra Kai Netflix series where Johnny Lawrence takes the Cobra Kais to a junkyard for training. And when they're at the junkyard, they are smashing old cars, smashing windows, and dropping things off a barn as kind of a stress relief day and kind of teaching them how to go for it when striking. So that's another example of a kind of a grown-up break room, which we'll discuss later. Our topic is break stuff. So a little personal history on this. A few times in when I was younger, we had fun breaking stuff. Okay, there was my aunt and uncle and cousins purchased a piece of property in Michigan, and there was an old shed on that piece of property, and we decided that we were going to do heel kicks, side kicks, and spinning side kicks to it. It was going to fall down anyways, but it was a lot of fun. So my brother Scott and I, we decided to go ahead and have fun kicking this thing, and the cousins joined in. We were putting holes in it with our spinning side kicks and jump spin side kicks, and it was a lot of fun until eventually we knocked the shed down, and then we all cheered. We're like, "Yay, we did it! We destroyed the shed!" So it was kind of fun. So, as I said, it was just an old shed that was getting ready to fall down anyways, but it was still fun as cousins to destroy it. There was also another time we had this old filing cabinet at the martial arts school that my brother and I owned, and we hated it. And I can't remember all the reasons why we hated it. I think it's because it wouldn't shut right. The rails kept on falling off. File folders kept on dropping. Couldn't get it open, all this stuff. But I remember that all of us hated it so much that when we finally bought a new one, we decided that we were going to destroy that filing cabinet because we didn't like it. So we actually had fun kicking it with nice front kicks and swing kicks and everything like that, putting dents in it, and we were kicking it all over the backyard. And then I even made a little film about it, and I put the song Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit as the soundtrack. So we had a lot of fun. So sometimes you can have fun and a big stress relief to break stuff. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, the work task. There's always a work task in all of our podcasts. And believe it or not, sometimes you have to break stuff down in order to build them back up again. Okay? Biggest example I can give is in all these housing shows, and sometimes a lot of these older houses have walls everywhere. For some reason, the houses back then were all very compartmentalized, and you had a room for everything, and a hallway for everything, and kitchen galley here, living room here. Everything was very organized, I guess. But a lot of the newer houses, the removal of walls in a house helps to open up and do that open concept that's so desired with these modern houses. So sometimes in all these housing shows, you see the host or whatever, or sometimes the people that own the house, using sledgehammers to remove walls, to remove drywall, to remove 2x4s. And then once in a while, you'll have some funny stuff like where they try to use like a football tackle to get through the wall, or they'll use a kick or a spinning kick or something like that to take out walls. So that's part of a work task is when you're doing that. Now I can remember just an example for us when we were redoing my mom's kitchen. We had a chance to break up the kitchen cabinets and throw them over the deck railing to fall onto the ground, and that was kind of fun too. But believe it or not, there is places that you can go into a room and get a chance to break stuff. Okay, sometimes people need to be able to do this once in a while. Okay, I'm not saying that you need to go break your house or go break your business or anything like that, but sometimes there's a need to break stuff. Because in a perfect world, sometimes we need to get that stress relief. Okay, get a chance to break stuff. And as I said, that stress relief can be done in many different ways, which we'll explain during the martial art practice section. Okay, in fact, in TV shows and movies, I've seen these break rooms where you can go to and you could break stuff. They give you like goggles, and you wear something so you don't get hurt, and then you could take sledgehammers to stuff and hammers to stuff, and you can break stuff. In fact, one TV series on Netflix, it's called Lily and Dash. It was a Christmas one. The guy in the movie, in the series, wanted the girl to go to one of these break stuff places. And I'd never seen one like this, but apparently in this particular one, you had to build something first. So you had to build something creative, and then you had to go into the break room and destroy your creation. Okay, so that was a little bit different take on the whole break rooms. Usually they have just random junk for you to beat up on, but this particular one, you had to build something creatively first and then destroy it, which is a lot harder to do. Once you've built something, you kind of develop an emotional attachment to it, so you don't want to break it. In fact, before I did this podcast, I was researching because I thought I heard that there's one of these kind of rooms nearby, and I found out there's one in Fort Myers, Florida here. It's called Just One of Those Days Rage Room. Okay, Just One of Those Days Rage Room. And for those of you guys that know the Limp Bizkit song, that's a takeaway from that song, because the song says just one of those days when you don't want to get up, So that's what they got it from. So it's a tagline from the song. And today I was going to play the song as part of the podcast, but unfortunately the song's not really appropriate for kids. So it is one of those good adult songs that you can listen to when you're having a bad day, and sometimes you need that kind of song, to help you out. So, anyways, we talked about the work task and how sometimes you have to break stuff in order to build it back up. But the martial art practice that goes along with this work task is there's a lot to it. A lot of people don't realize that martial art practice is doing this is good for you. But hitting a heavy bag, or an air shield. Okay, some of our adults, when they join martial arts, they don't realize that they want that sometimes. Okay, their life is frustrating, and they had a hard day at work or a hard day at home, and they want to just kind of beat up on an air shield a little bit. It's a great stress relief. Okay, I know some of my instructors talk about they had a bad day, their truck got ruined or something like that, and they need a good hitting on the bag to really take away that stress. And it happened recently. So great stress relief. Also, too, just in case you don't have a heavy bag or an air shield. Because when I grew up in the country, and I didn't always have the money to buy everything that I wanted. So you can also make your own heavy bag, okay, or own hitting targets. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right because I always forget what this called like a Magawara board or something like that. It's a Chinese kind of board. You can buy them on wholesale in the some of the catalogs that I have here, but it's like a board with like a pad, and then it has a covering over it. Okay, and you can mount those on a wall, preferably on a tree outside because you don't want to mess up your walls at home. But you can punch it, and I've seen in movies they created these, and we used to have something like that in the combatives room at the college that I attended, Eastern Michigan University. Also, too, I had an army duffel bag that I filled with old blankets or towels or something like that, and I hung it from a tree by a rope, and I used that as a heavy bag um, for a long time before I could ever have my own. So there's ways to make your own hitting targets so that you can have something to hit at home. I know sometimes when you come to class, you have a partner, so it's nice you have a partner who can hold an air show for you. Plus, we have freestanding heavy bags as well. But sometimes you don't always have someone to hold an air show for you. Okay, so you need something that you can hit all by yourself. So that's always a great thing to have. Now, how do you practice with this? Okay, well, I recommend that you practice in HIIT intervals. Okay, high intensity interval training. What you do is you do a period of high intensity. Okay, on the bag. You want to keep your techniques flowing and keep the intensity right. A lot of people, when they do a heavy bag, they do it in the classroom here, and people always do it when they're self-taught at home, is they do one technique at a time, and they always focus on the techniques that they do well. So if they can do a right leg front kick, for example, they'll do that over and over again to make themselves feel good. When in truth, in martial art practice, you want to be able to switch your arms, switch your hands, switch your kicks, so that you can get strong with all of your weapons that you possess. So, and how do you do the HIIT intervals? Well, you have to develop the HIIT interval by yourself, what you're comfortable with. And there's different ways you can do that. Okay, so for example, if you're just starting out, maybe you can click a watch and do a 30-second interval and then rest for 2 minutes. Then commit to a 30-second interval and then rest for 2 minutes. Okay, and you can keep on doing this cycle for a little while. Like I would say about 10 minutes, if you could do it. That's probably the best. Then, when you get better at it or stronger at it, what you can do is you can flip that interval a little bit more. You can do 1 minute on, 1 minute off interval, okay? And that provides you with a little bit more cardiovascular training. Then you can totally flip the interval on its uh, one of the guys that does the beach body workouts. He flips the interval so that you're doing 3 minutes of intensity with only 30 seconds or a minute rest. Okay, but that does take more conditioning to get there. So as I said, you can start off baby steps and do the 30-second, 2 minute interval thing, the 1 minute, 1 minute, and then eventually maybe a 2 minute, 1 minute, or a 3 minute, 1 minute interval. Okay, so that you have more intensity and less rest time. But you want to make sure that you can do the full 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you can do. So you want to keep that going. You don't just want to do one set and be done. That's not a long enough workout. Most people say with high intensity interval training that you need at least 7 minutes. But I say you should do about 10 because that's more realistic. Because most people don't keep the intensity right. They always underperform, under intense. And then therefore you're just doing cardio. You're not doing high intensity work. So what's something else that you could break in a martial art practice? We actually did a whole podcast on breaking boards, okay? But breaking boards is always a fun way to de-stress. Now, you can do it with the breakable boards like we have in class. You can also do the pure wood ones as well. The pure wood ones are more satisfying, okay, because you did break it and it can't be put back together, okay? In class, we use it as a keepsake for the kids and for the adults who break their boards, okay? But it's fun to break some lumber, okay? Now, when we were kids, we used to try and break boards and wood lengthwise, which is a lot harder to do. And you got to be careful because sometimes you can hurt yourself if you don't know it, if you're not sure. My kid will take like a long 2x4, for example, and you can't break it. All you can do is hurt your foot. So you got to make sure that the boards are appropriate for breaking. Just like cement. Cement's another thing that you could break. It's very satisfying. Although cement, you have to make sure that you get the thinner ones. The thicker ones are pretty hard. Cement does not give like a board does. A board will sometimes give a little bit. When you hit it, it'll flex. But cement does nothing. And sometimes cement is stubborn. So when you first hit it, the first shock waves that you do, you feel it as if you hit a wall full power. Then it breaks. So it's kind of it's got to be careful when you do that. I've done it for the kids here before during our board breaking and Cobra Kai classes, but it's not something I recommend to do all the time. Now, just as a side note, what things I'm trying to, the first example that I gave about the Cobra Kai's destroying the Miyagi-Do studio was not a great example of how to break stuff and build it back up. But like one thing is this, like when I had the first studio I had in Cape Coral here, we decided to move into a bigger facility. So I had to take down that studio. So we had to basically, in essence, break that up and build it back up again here at the new studio. So sometimes the destruction or the break stuff aspect is a sign of change. Okay, so it's a sign of change that things are changing, and change is always good. Okay, so change isn't always bad. Change is often good. Okay, because now instead of having a 1,100 square foot facility, we now have a 2,400 square foot facility. Okay, and there was a lot more room. We have all kinds of cool stuff, and the change was for the best. So sometimes breaking stuff down and building things back up is a good thing. Okay. So just a couple things real quick. We have a secret word or phrase each day. And this secret word or phrase, remember, you can let me know what it is in class, and you can be eligible for discounts on our UMA stickers or our future Miyagi, Miyagi, I was the wrong thing, the Karate Kid Master Dojo stickers, my bad, that are coming up. And are also what I'm wearing today is the Cobra Kai Master the Cobra Kai. I said it again. I did it one time and actually had to re-record it because I messed up. I've said this once before. You guys never heard it, but I said Cobra Kai Master Dojo one time. But anyways, Karate Kid Master Dojo shirt is what I'm wearing today, the Karate Kid. So it's easy to get confused because Cobra Kai is such a popular Netflix series right now. But anyways, all said and done. The secret word today is give me something to break. Okay, so I'll say it again. It's give me something to break. I have to say it like that because that is part of the Limp Bizkit song that I had to quote today a couple times. So remember that we're here every week, and we have to remind ourselves that in order to learn any kind of karate, martial arts, you have to unlearn your misconceptions about what constitutes training. Okay? So if you get a chance to participate in one of these remodels, even have your kids try it too. If they can knock down a drywall, is pretty easy to bust. It could be a lot of fun. Okay, you just have to make sure they do it in a organized fashion so they don't hurt themselves. Okay? But anyways, remember that we're here every week learning martial arts through everyday work, thus creating life around you, increased productivity, and a better world. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. This is Karate Kid Master Dojo. This is Master Craig. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.